Hello and welcome to the Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
I love when we do this, Craig, by the way. My name is Mike Poworski. I am your co-host from the East Coast. That's the co-host with the most, from the coast with the most. I am coming to you from my office, not the regular studio chambers. So this is fun. And what I meant by fun is as soon as we get online, the cameras are all lined up in a certain spot. This time it wasn't. So when I started the program, I was here. So I was like, hold on, let me bring, now I got to bring the rest of me over. So there you go. And I'm too close. So I'm going to get back here. Can you still hear me back here?
You're looking good, sir. You're looking good, especially for such an auspicious day as today is. Do you know what day that is, right?
I do know, and we got settings changing on us. I don't know if you can still hear me, Craig, but I do know
I can still hear you.
It's May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you. Now, you've probably heard that quite a bit on Twitter or at the office today, but what does it mean? Why is everyone saying it? I'm Star Trek Voyager's Tim Russ, and I'm here to explain Star Wars Day. You see, May the 4th celebrates a movie called The Star Wars. In The Star Wars, the 4th is a powerful energy that binds the galaxy together. Now, using the 4th, powerful magicians called space druids are able to do crazy things like pick something up or tell people they're wrong.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
But why May the 4th? Well, May the 4th is Star Wars' birthday. So when you say May the 4th be with you, you're really saying happy birthday, the Star Wars. But what is a Star War? A Star War is like a regular war, only instead of bullets, it's got lasers. And in the Star Wars, there is only one Star War, but it is a doozy. You see, Darth Vader, the bad guy, hates Luke Skywalker because he is his son. Sounds like a bad dad if you ask me. Anyway, because he's so mad at his son, he builds a giant ball that can blow up Earth. Luke and his friends, Obi, Hans, Robot, Pill, and Chewbacca, accidentally find the ball and realize that's no moon. It's a death ball. And they're right. So they go inside it. And guess who's there? Darth Vader and his boss, the garbage octopus. Now his friends all save the girl character and try to leave, but not before Darth Vader turns Obi into laundry. Luke is sad and realizes there's only one thing to do. Get in his X thing and kill everyone on the death ball. Pill gets his head blown off, so Luke uses the 4th to put a laser in the death ball's hole. Boom! So long, death ball. They won!
And that is pretty much May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. I love that.
Who among us has not said, so long, death ball?
So long, death ball. Good stuff. Good stuff. Definitely good stuff. It's also Hump Day, and because we already played a video, we're not going to play the Hump Day video today, but it is also Hump Day, and I'm sorry. Mike.
Guess
okay.
what day it is?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's Hump Day.
Hump Day!
It's Hump.
Okay, there you go. Mike, there you go. Mike was not going to let that day go, not let today go. So in any case, let's get on with the news because I know that we got places we've got to be today. And Mikey, we want to make sure that Mike continues to have power on his system over there, so yes. we got to look out for a brother.
Greg, Skynet's sucking it away right now.
Skynet is sucking it away. All right, so let's start with the first one. You guys know that there was a Supreme Court ruling dealing with the issue. There was not a ruling. There was a draft of a ruling, of a draft opinion of a ruling that was put out, and people are utterly losing their minds about it. Well, one of the things that you're starting to see is what I like to call, Democrats are basically coming out and they are losing their minds. You have California legislators who are coming out and now they're saying, not only are they coming out with legislation that is going to make California a sanctuary abortion state? Basically, a state where not only are we going to make sure that it's a right in California to have or to take the life of your child in the womb, but we're also going to develop programs where we're going to pay for people from other states to come to California and have an abortion. They're also talking about transgender rights and transgender legislation, gun bills. I mean, Mike, you name it. They have decided that they are going to now create in California a West Coast wall of wokeness.
You know what I saw, Craig? That they want to have their sanctuary state so they can have the transgender people there still to get abortions. Have they not told them that if you have a penis, you're not going to need an abortion? Have they not told them that yet? I mean, I don't know where the transgender people need the abortions for, but that's even California can't make that one happen.
Well, it's the funniest thing because, and once again, I don't know if this was a spoof. It could very well have been a spoof, but they were talking about how a transgender woman was upset because they couldn't get a gynecologist.
Yes, I believe we did. I think we showed that one yesterday, right? Absolutely right. And she did not need a gynecologist. She needed a psychiatrist.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
She does not have a vagina. She does not need a gynecologist. All right. And if she really believes she does, again, psychiatrist. I'm not saying all transgender people need psychiatrists. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying if you insist on seeing one and you got the wrong stuff, you might need to see a psychiatrist.
Right. So, like, for example, if you are a transgender male, you don't need prostate cancer screening because you don't have a prostate.
Oh, you mean like the ones that go from women to man?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. You would not need that. Although there was a doctor here in, was it Indiana? Was it a couple of years ago? Remember this? Who got in trouble because he was giving prostate exams to women.
Yes.
So
I do recall hearing about that.
Got in trouble for that.
You know, Mike, the thing that makes this thing the worst of all is, once again, they're now using this ruling to pass anything. And by the way, what's even more interesting about it is Alito, in this draft opinion, when he talked about transgender law or gun law or anything like that, he specifically made the point that, look, when it comes to gay issues or transgender issues, is that the difference between those and this is that there wasn't a second, what's the word I'm looking for? There wasn't a second individual to consider. So, for example, in the case of an abortion, it's not just the woman who is carrying the child, but there's the child in and of itself whose rights have to be considered. And he said that's what makes this case different from those. So this only deals with abortion. But once again, you have folks like Joy Behar, you have folks like Gavin Newsom, who are basically coming out and saying, nope, this is a war against women, against transgenderism, against homosexuality, war against people who don't like guns, all of that. And they're using it as an excuse to basically, and like I said, create this West Coast wall of wokeness. Well, I guess that would be kind of like the Iron Curtain known as the Sierras.
Yeah, it's about the same thing. I guess it's just which side of the wall you're on, I guess.
Right. And unfortunately, I am on the wrong side of that wall.
Yes. The left side of the wall.
But folks, watch. I'm telling you it's going to happen. By the way, you see it happening in California. It's going to happen in Oregon. It's going to spread to Oregon. It's going to spread to Washington. You're going to see this sort of stuff happening. And if they can't pass the legislation, you're going to start to see executive orders instituting these very same things.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Now, Mike, that takes me to another story that you shared, and that has to do with a number of companies that are actually going out of their way to create or to help their employees to be able to subvert the law, whatever, if they are in a state that either has restrictions or bans on abortion. Now, mind you, most of these states are only going to have restrictions, which means that it's gonna largely be anything past the first 15 weeks is where there's going to be those restrictions, except in the cases of rape and incest, and to protect the life of the mother. But you've got companies out there now, and maybe you want to share a little bit about these companies and about how they're going about trying to basically subvert the law, or help their employees basically subvert the law in their states.
And Craig, and I know this is brand new, and we're still getting a feel for it, but I think subvert might be the wrong word. I think subvert means we're going to assist you in breaking the law. Whereas I don't think that's the case. We know that there are some states out there that are going to ban abortion if it's left up to the states again. Remember, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about making abortion illegal. We're talking about letting this get back to the states. So if 25 states say, or 26 states say it's going to be illegal, and it's going to be illegal in those states. So what happens to the woman in that state that says, I want an abortion, and that state becomes one of those states that is now illegal? Well, it's just illegal in that state to get that abortion. So they could go free to go to another state, and if they meet the qualifications in that state, get the abortion. So, Craig, again, I'm not sure that's subverting the law. It might be literally finding the loophole around it, but I don't think it's a criminal act to help them.
You are correct. It was an improper term See,
Again,
what they always say is we're subverting the law as gun owners, for example, when we actually read the law and find a way to comply with the law. But they're going to try and find a way to help their employees comply with the law in another state.
So here's the problem: is like the number one company that's doing this is Amazon, right?
Yep.
And they're going to offer up to $4,000 per individual to seek out a legal abortion for if they decided they want an abortion. Well, again, that $4,000 is not free. All right, Amazon gets some great products and they get it for cheap, but one of them is not abortions through the mail. So they're going to have to pay $4,000 to go to a medical assistance and get that. That's just going to drive the prices up on yours. Yep. So somebody else's wokeism is going to raise the prices of your products. And I like an Amazon statement. I don't know if you could pull that up there, Craig. The Amazon statement on abortion. And not only are they just allowing their employees to seek medical treatment somewhere else, but their statement is now it's up towards the top. It's more of the there we go. Come down to right there. Amazon became the latest corporation to cover employees' travel costs to seek abortion care. Abortion care, Craig. By the way, it's not abortion anymore. It's abortion care, and they call this part of their reproductive health package. I mean, this would seem the opposite of reproductive health, Craig. If you're talking about killing an unborn child, I believe that's the exact opposite of reproductive health.
Well, it's funny. I'm reading this book called Speechless, and they're talking about how the left has basically changed the culture by changing the language. So things like talking about a woman's right to choose, but we don't talk about what the choice is. And the woman's right to choose, once again, to take the life of their child in the womb, right? Yes. That's what they're choosing. We don't want to talk about that. We don't want to show images of it. We don't want to do any of that because, once again, we want to sanitize it and make it acceptable. And that's in essence what we're talking about here. And they call it abortion care. Abortion care means taking the life of a child in the womb. They're going to pay for that. And then you've got places like the state of California that are actually going to pay for people to come to California. So in many cases, Amazon probably isn't even going to need to cover it because they'll get the money reimbursed by the state of California.
They're going to cover your shipping and handling charges, mostly handling. Craig, I sent you 2 images of texts from a Congressperson, Val Demings. If you could bring the first one up with her standing at the police memorial. And then we'll roll into the second one and have a conversation because it feeds into this here. She's a U.S. Congressperson who is a former chief of police in Orlando. She also lost her gun, by the way, and hid it from the public and everybody else and tried to report it to a different agency. So when you hear that only police should have guns, She's not even including herself in that because she can't keep track of her own gun. Anyway, she's running for senator here in the state of Florida right now. She only won on her third time for U.S. Congressperson because they had to redistrict for her to get one of those gerrymandered all African American districts. So she's already a liar and a cheat. Anyway, she went to this memorial last night for law enforcement. Law Enforcement Month, Law Enforcement Week, and she says that her prayers are with the family and loved ones of our community heroes. Courage, pride, and commitment. Prayers are with family and loved ones of community heroes. She honors the lives and sacrifices. Honors their lives and sacrifices, and families who have lost lives in the line of duty. Let's flip over, Craig, to the other one she posted.
Oh, no. May the 4th be with
No,
you.
not that one.
Go ahead. There we go.
Always. This is when it first came up back during the election cycle, right? Every American, including every woman, has the right to control their own bodies. Okay, every American, except the unborn ones, Craig, right? Because they don't vote, right? So we don't have to worry about them. They have the right to control their own bodies. That's not my opinion. That's the U.S. Constitution. I think we talked about this yesterday, Craig. The right to abortion is nowhere in the Constitution. Roe v. Wade is a court case, all right? It's come back the other way. It's about to go around. So in here, she has no qualms, no problems with taking the lives of the unborn. She'll worship the hero law enforcement officer, which, listen, I'm all there for. But tell me how you could do that. Be a Christian woman, because that's clearly what it says on her webpage, right, and decide the unborn are not critical. Again, I'm not trying to take sides here on either one, but abortion, pro-abortion, but you can't be both at the same time. And that's what she's saying.
You also can't be pro. You also can't be Black Lives Matter, and then support the idea. Basically, what constitutes a modern day genocide against people of color. Now, keep in mind, Margaret Sanger, who founded Planned Parenthood, was a believer in eugenics, a promoter of eugenics, and sought to eliminate or reduce the populations of undesirable people. Now, that included poor people, that included the unintelligent, and it included people of color, predominantly Black people, right? She spoke to the Nazi Party. She spoke to the Klan. That's who she was. There's a reason why over 80% of Planned Parenthood clinics are in low-income communities where there's predominantly people of color, right? But those Black lives, the 35% of all abortions. Now, remember, if we're talking about disproportionality, Black people make up about 12% of the 10 to 12% of the population. Women make up about 13% of all women, but yet as abortions, 35 to 40% of all abortions are performed on Black women, meaning Black babies being killed. Now, once again, this is not a racial issue. I'm just saying she says Black Lives Matter, but clearly based on her support of things like this, not all Black Lives matter to her.
Yeah, I'm curious why. Always be curious why. When we hear about racism of the past and the numbers are not right, that's why the Black man doesn't get a fair shake, because they only make up 10 to 12% of the population. Well, why are you killing yourselves? Why are you killing your children? Why are you killing your teen? Why are men killing men and teens killing teens on the streets? If you had 2 generations with no abortion, like from 1974, you'd probably be about half the population of the United States by now, based on the number of people you've killed in the womb over the past 50 years. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me how we don't want to be a minority anymore, but we kill all.
It's because the people who call themselves leaders have been bought off and paid for by the leftists. I mean, Jesse Jackson and Dick Gregory and all these quote unquote activists used to be vehemently anti-abortion. In fact, Joe Biden at one time was promoting he was pushing a constitutional amendment. That's how serious he thought it was that abortion should not be legal at one point. That was in the early 80s. It's only recently when all of a sudden he realized that, a woman's right to choose to take the life of her child in the womb is a constitutional right, or should be a right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I obviously, Going back to, we talked about Chappelle being, I think, one of the comedians that's going to bring us out of wokeness. He also had, remember, abortion rights issues too.
Right.
And he told women, listen, if you want the right to get rid of my child without my say, then don't have my child and expect my money as well.
There you go. There you go. Now, by the way, this whole conversation then leads us to another thing. Now, you remember that this was an opinion that was actually leaked by someone in the Supreme Court. It was a draft opinion. It wasn't even the end. It's not even the final version of what this opinion is going to be. But what's interesting about it is that the question now is, what sort of an effect could this possibly have on the Second Amendment, or in particular on the New York Kerry case? Is this something that is going to wind up delaying that case? The only way I see that being a possibility is if the investigation as to who leaked it takes up so much time, energy, and effort that it delays the release of that opinion. I don't know. Do you foresee it being something that is gonna have an effect on the New York Kerry case?
No, I don't see it having one issue whatsoever. I don't think the Supreme Court cares about how people are reacting to what they put out. They have their schedule. They'll put it out when they put it out. Greg, how great would this be, by the way, if it turns out that Judge Alito is the greatest troll of all times?
This would be interesting.
Down says it's just a draft. We were doing an exercise. We're not even looking at this case this year.
Well, the other thing though that I think, and actually this was a conversation that I had yesterday with Paul on the Bullet, was it may actually have an impact in terms of who winds up drafting the majority opinion. Because Alito's doing it on this case, we could see Clarence Thomas actually be the one who drafts the majority opinion. Obviously, we believe it's going to go in such a way that's going to protect the right to carry or possess a firearm outside of the home. But I think that makes sense, because if you look at who's the justice who has been the most adamantly like, look, when are we going to deal with these Second Amendment cases? Why are we treating the Second Amendment like a redheaded stepchild? It's been Clarence Thomas. So I gotta believe that in part the effect of this, or at least the maybe not so much the leaking, but the fact that we know he's doing the majority opinion, that Alito is doing it, might actually lead us to believe that Thomas is going to wind up being the one who's going to draft it on the New York case.
I don't know. That's pretty good. I'm kind of hoping Kavanaugh does it. That way we can get Class 3 rifles out of a vending machine.
That would be a good one. Who knows? Maybe he'll do his own opinion and include that in it.
Yeah. The super majority opinion.
But yeah, I agree with you. I don't know that it's going to have a huge impact on it. But here's the one thing that concerns me with a lot of this is, this is how they handle this. This is the first salvo. So obviously it's going to be more aggressive. It's going to be more out there. And then as it goes through further drafts, it's going to develop a lot more legalese, include a lot more precedent, and a lot more nuanced arguments as other justices respond to his particular, or to this particular draft. My concern is that I don't want to see that process undermine what happened here, undermine that process, because that's how you wind up with usually thoughtful majority or minority opinions, is because they've bounced. This is an opportunity for them to bounce those arguments off people who disagree with them.
Yep, absolutely right. Greg, let me say quickly. My charger on my computer doesn't seem to be working at the moment. It just flashed a 2%, and I don't know that I could fix that before the end of the program. So if I lose you and the folks, just have a good day and carry on. But I'll stick with you as long as I can.
Well, the good news is that we're getting pretty close to the end. So let's move on to our next story. And then we've got disinformation on constitutional carry. This was a piece that was actually written by Dave Workman. You can find it at AmmoLand. I found it to be really cool because they are, once again, as they usually do, they're flat out lying. Like, for example, they say that it makes it easy for people to get guns, right?
Not Dave Workman. Dave Workman's not lying. AmmoLand's not lying. the opposition is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the opposition, the disinformation, the opposition is lying. They're saying, well, it's going to make it so that people don't have to have any, background check or anything in order to be able to get a gun. That's not what constitutional carry is. Anyway, I just found it to be completely and utterly disingenuous, a lot of the arguments that people are making. And I think Dave Workman does a phenomenal job of pointing out all of the lies and the fallacies that they are, that they are pushing. If you get a chance, read it. Here's a couple of things he points to, and then one of the reasons why they're talking about this is because Ron DeSantis is actually, once again, talking about, in this special session, they're going to be pushing for the idea of constitutional carry there in Florida.
Captain Florida.
Oh yeah. All right, and finally, and you guys kind of already saw it, but our parting shot for today was, once again, the conversation of it is May the 4th. So I just wanted to let you guys know, May the 4th be with you. Please enjoy. Have a good time.
Read it like the duck. May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you. Always. Oh, I love this stuff. Duck. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Let me put ourselves on camera. Remember, duck. All right, Mike. Hey, how about a quick shout out to our sponsors?
Let's say hello to our good friends at Guerrilla Defense, Guerrilla Machining, Grid Defense, the California Republican Assembly, Tuvok from Star Trek Voyager, and then, of course, Daffy Duck.
Hey, you folks, if you get a chance, once again, if you like what you're watching on this show, do me a favor. Click on the link in the description of this video for each of our sponsors. Go there. If you like what they have, kick them down a few dollars and tell them that the guys over at The Rundown sent you. I'm going to be doing for CRA. I also host a program called CRA TV. I'm going to be doing a whole episode of CRA TV on the West Coast Wall of Wokeness. So if you get a chance, click over there, check it out. 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you guys check that out as well. And with that, we are going to call it a day, and we will see you tomorrow on Thirsty Thursday. Like, share, subscribe. Encourage your friends to do the same.